Some of you are going to know what I mean, and others I just need you to listen because I don't know who needs to hear this. But there's, I don't even know if it's an old saying, but I just said it. And they don't want to see you when they don't want to see you. Now, what does that mean? I'm going to go back because a lot of you probably didn't see the story about I had the neighbor who went off on a racist tirade talking about he was tired of big muscle N words, meaning me, because I'm the only black person in my vicinity. And he had made comments to me before, but saying he wished he had a gun, saying that he was sick and tired of me actually parking next to him. And it was just one of those things. He wrote gang graffiti on my car. Police did nothing about it. My neighbors basically kind of sat by and just let it happen. Nobody really wanted to stand up. So he kind of skated on it. He got away with it. But I just left the store. And who did I see walking out of that store? And we locked. But he didn't want to see me when he didn't want to see me. And what I mean by that is when people are full of themselves, when people have that certain energy, cool, keep that same energy when you see me. Because what you were talking about, wishing you had and that you were sick of big, then you're free to talk that talk. Because you felt safe, you felt protected. And I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about. I know a lot of you know that there's a lot of people who don't want to see you when they don't want to see you, when their energy isn't up, when they're not feeling themselves, when they're not full of that energy or angry or upset or whatever emotion got them to that point where they could run their mouths like that. They didn't want to see you because they didn't want to see you. Does that make sense? Am I going too far with this? But I don't think that I am. And there's a lot of places where people hide and try to feel safe. He felt safe in front of the neighbors. Same way a lot of bosses and managers will feel safe in the workplace. And I've seen this many times where people will try to bully down or talk a certain way because why? Because they're safe within that context and that confines that if something happens to them, well, we just got that person out of there. We got them fired. But what got that other person to that point was that person wanting to see them because they were comfortable. But you see those people out in the street, they don't want to see you. Why? Because it's outside of their bubble, outside of their safety zone. So I'm not saying I'm looking for action. I'm not saying violence is the answer. I'm not saying any of that. But for that man to have said what he said that day, that should be his same MO every time he sees me. But the difference was he didn't say it when he saw me. Because when I came outside the last time he was running off, he didn't bother to say anything. He was in his house. He was someplace else. And we've seen each other since then. But he didn't have that same energy. So guess what he didn't want to do? See me. That's the difference. And again, this isn't about me wanting to fight somebody. This is about keeping people consistent. If you're going to be consistent with an energy or you're going to introduce me to one, then I expect that to be what I see the next time I see you. That's just how it is. You let that emotion get away with your mouth. And so now it's a check you don't really want to have to cash. And whatever that means, however that gets solved, that's on that person because they introduced that to me or they introduced it to you because I know some of you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to quit rambling. I'm going to quit going on about this. But just remember, and sometimes it's more to be pitied because it's like, that's it. That's what you're on. You're on that 50-50. You're kind of halfish. No, when you see me, see me. But when you don't want to see me, now you don't want to see me. Ironic. What are your thoughts on this? What's your ace up the sleeve advice, comment, experience? Because a lot of times, and this isn't that whole you can't see me sort of thing. I'm in plain sight. I was in plain sight for this person to say what they said at that point in time. I was in plain sight when I walked out of that store about 15 minutes ago. You should have said something, sir, because you didn't want to see me. That's the difference. So I'd like to hear what you guys think about that. And as always, free subscriptions to the channel. Share it with your friends and let me know what you guys think in the comments. I hope this finds everybody in your place, pursuit, or beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. Peace, love, unity, solidarity. And this is about the place where you're going to see subscriptions and other videos. So click on those. Stick around.